ask you something. When was the last time you checked the change in your pocket? I'm not talking about counting it to grab a coffee. I mean, really looked at it. That little quarter jingling around might be worth more than your car. Maybe even more than your house. There's a quarter out there that was minted in 2008 in Denver. It's got the D-Mint mark and represents the state of Hawaii. And get this, it's not just some boring collector's piece. One of these bad boys has been valued at a whopping $1.2 million. That's right, a humble 25-cent coin that could turn you into a millionaire. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's talk about why this seemingly ordinary quarter could be your ticket to early retirement. And hey, I'll even share a little story about the time I found a valuable coin myself. And no, it didn't end how you think. Alright, let's get into the meat of it. First off, the Hawaii quarter was released in 2008 as part of the U.S. Mint's 50-state quarters program. It was the last one in the series, making it kind of special from the get-go. You know how the last cookie in the jar always tastes better? Same vibe. Now this coin shows King Kamehameha I stretching out his hand toward the 8 major Hawaiian islands. Around him, the words Hawaii 1959, marking the year Hawaii became a state, and the motto Ue Maukue o Kaina I Kapono, which means the life of the land is perpetuated in righteousness. Beautiful stuff, right? But let's be real. Beauty alone doesn't get you to $1 million. What makes this specific 2008 Hawaii quarter worth $1.2 million? Well, let's talk rarity. Most coins from the Denver Mint in 2008 were perfectly normal. Billions of quarters were made. But every so often, the mint hiccups. Maybe the die was cracked. Maybe the alignment was off. Or maybe a double strike happened. Sometimes they used the wrong metal planchet. When that happens, boom, you've got a rare error coin. The $1 million Hawaii quarter is believed to have been struck on a transitional planchet. That means it wasn't even supposed to be used for that coin. Imagine baking a chocolate cake and somehow ending up with a cheesecake, only tastier and a lot more valuable. And now combine that error with the fact that it's from the final quarter in a hugely popular series, and minted in Denver, which tends to have fewer rare errors than Philadelphia, and you've got a jackpot. This is where coin collecting gets serious. The value of any rare coin, especially an error coin, jumps based on its grade. Coins are graded from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect specimen, untouched by human hands and maybe even blessed by the coin gods. The Hawaii quarter we're talking about was professionally graded and hit that sweet MS68 plus or possibly even higher. That's mint state. Practically flawless. A coin that clean with an error that rare? That's when collectors start fighting over it like it's the last slice of pizza at a Super Bowl party. And here's where it gets crazy. This coin sold at a private auction for $1.2 million. No joke. Someone literally paid $1 million plus change for 25 cents. Let that sink in. First, look at the mint mark. It has to have a D, which means it came out of the Denver Mint. Second, examine the coin's detail. Look for any doubling, weird texture, cracks, or off-center striking. If the portrait looks like George Washington had one too many piña coladas in Waikiki, you might have something special. Third, check the weight. If the coin feels off, heavier or lighter, get it weighed. A different planchet could mean big money. And finally, get it graded. That's key. A professional grading service like PCGS or NGC can give it a score and authenticate the error. Without that grade, it's just a nice beach-themed coin with no surfboard. Now let me share something from my own life. About 5 years ago, I was cleaning out a jar of coins my grandpa left behind. It had everything from wheat pennies to a $50 that looked like it had survived a war. I wasn't expecting much. Just wanted to roll the coins and maybe get enough for a pizza, but as I was going through them, I noticed this odd-looking quarter. It had the Wisconsin design, the one with the cow and the cheese wheel, but there was something strange about the leaf on the cornstalk. I looked it up and found out it was a known error coin. Now sure, that's no million, but let me tell you, that moment changed my perspective. I went from coins are boring to I'm gonna be rich faster than a dog runs to the sound of bacon hitting a pan. That's when I started learning, digging into forums, watching videos, and yes, even digging through my car's cup holders. I've never hit the $1 million coin yet, but I came close with a rare 1970s quarter that paid for my family's beach trip to Florida. True story, and that's why I'm here now. If I can find a few valuable coins with just a little bit of knowledge and a flashlight, So can you? What other errors to look for on Hawaii quarters? The coin looks like it was punched while someone sneezed. Part of the design is missing or off. The lettering or the king's figure looks shadowed or doubled. A piece of the coin looks like it was bitten off. The coin feels heavier or lighter than usual. Not common for quarters, but still check. And if your 2008 Hawaii quarter has one of these, especially in great condition, it might just be the golden ticket. So here's the bottom line, my friends. There's money in your change jar. There's treasure in your couch cushions. There's fortune in that junk drawer we all pretend doesn't exist. The 2008 Hawaii quarter may be the last in the state quarters series, but it might be the first step to your financial freedom if you find the right one. And the beauty of it is, this hobby doesn't require thousands of dollars to get started. You don't need a fancy degree or a shovel to dig for gold. All you need is a sharp eye, a little patience, and the curiosity to check the change you already have. Before you go, do me a favor. If you learned something new today or even smiled once during this video, hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin hunters, treasure seekers, and maybe even future millionaires. We've got more tips, more coin values, and plenty of stories that'll keep you entertained and informed. And who knows, next time I might be telling a story about you and the $1 million coin you found while buying gum at a gas station. So don't forget to like, share, and most importantly, check your pockets. Where pocket change might just change your life. Now let me ask you this real quick. Have you ever looked at a quarter and thought, meh, just 25 cents? Well, you might want to start paying a little more attention to those coins jingling around in your cup holder or rattling under the couch cushions, because there's one quarter out there that looks just like any regular coin you'd get from a gas station. But this one? This one could be worth a staggering $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. I'm talking about the 2015 Mint Mark Kisachi National Forest quarter. It's not just any quarter. It's a jaw-dropper, a bank-breaker, and for a lucky few, it's been the ticket to a life upgrade. Today we're diving into why this coin is worth so much money, what makes it rare, how to identify one in your collection, and a personal story that proves sometimes luck really is just sitting in your change jar. So grab your magnifying glass, maybe even a cold drink, and let's go treasure hunting. Alright, let's start with the basics. In 2015, the US Mint released a quarter as part of the America the Beautiful series. This one honored Kisachi National Forest in Louisiana. It features a wild turkey in mid-flight, gliding over longleaf pine branches. Pretty cool artwork, if you ask. Meth quarter was minted in Philadelphia, hence the P Mint mark, and on the surface, it looks just like millions of others. But here's where it gets spicy. Most folks don't know this, but a tiny handful of these coins had striking errors or rare die varieties. And that's where the value shoots through the roof. Let me tell you, coin collectors go absolutely bananas for these kinds of rare traits. Especially when the coin isn't ancient or foreign, it's a plain old US quarter with a twist. Now let's dig into what actually makes this 2015 Kisachi quarter worth $1.3 million. Where the front design is slightly doubled, where the image is not aligned perfectly, parts of the coin are literally missing due to a cutting mistake, lines running across the coin due to worn out dies. But even without a dramatic error, certain near-perfect MS68 and MS69 graded coins have been auctioned for high 5-figure and even 6-figure values. That's right, a perfectly preserved Kisachi quarter is worth far more than just its face value. Flawless in its detail, sharp in its strike, and dazzling with that minty shine, was sold at a private auction for a mind-blowing $1.3 million because there were only a handful of coins in that pristine condition. Rarity plus condition equals value. It's like a classic car with 0 miles. It's not just a car anymore, it's history and mint condition date. Make sure the coin says 2015. Look for the P below the words "In God We Trust" on the front design. Wild turkey in flight with pine branches? You're in business. The cleaner, shinier, and crisper it looks, the better. Use gloves to avoid leaving fingerprints if you think you found something special. Lines that shouldn't be there? Off-center images? It could be a jackpot. Get a magnifying glass and spend an afternoon checking every quarter you come across. Trust me, it's oddly satisfying and might just pay off big time. Also, visit a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC if you think your quarter has what it takes. Don't try to sell it to just any pawn shop. You might end up walking away with $10 when you're sitting on a small fortune. Let me share a story. A buddy of mine named Rick, he's the kind of guy who saves every coin he gets. He's not a collector really. Just frugal. Anyway, he heard about the Kisachi quarter from a show like this one, so one night, after watching a coin video and having a few too many sodas, he dumped out this huge jar of quarters he'd been saving since the 90s. Now I kid you not, 3 hours later, he sends me a picture and says, "Dude, I think I found 1 inch." Long story short, he did. A 2015 Kisachi quarter with a minor die crack. He sent it off for grading, waited like a nervous wreck for weeks, and came back with an MS-68 rating. It eventually sold at auction $4.72000, not $1 million, but close enough to buy a new truck, take his wife on a vacation, and still have some left to invest. All from a coin that sat in a jar next to a broken pencil and old batteries, so yeah, it can happen. To anyone. Even your cousin who thinks coins are boring. Now before we wrap up, here are some practical tips if you want to find rare coins like the Kisachi quarter. Ask for rolls of quarters and sort through them. Hit up flea markets and estate sales. You'd be shocked at what people leave behind. Learn from other collectors and keep up with trending finds. Avoid scratches or stains that hurt their value. Trust me, once you get started, this turns into a fun hobby with real financial upside. Alright folks, there you have it, the legendary 2015 Kisachi quarter. Who would have thought a coin with a turkey could be worth $1.3 million? I mean, most people are out here chasing crypto and stocks, and here we are, hunting treasure in our own pockets. So here's what I want you to do: grab that loose change you've been ignoring, check your car's cup holders, your junk drawer, and that mystery pile on your nightstand. You never know what kind of hidden fortune is sitting under your nose, and if you do find something special, come back here and let us know in the comments. We love hearing your stories. Before you go, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I've got more coin tips, hidden treasure stories, and millionaire coin finds coming your way. Turn on notifications too, so you don't miss the next big one. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Keep collecting, keep smiling, and who knows, your next quarter could be your $1 million moment. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters and coin lovers. Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at that loose change in your car's cup holder or the quarter you used for a soda machine and thought, just pocket change? Well, hold on to your seat, because the dusty old 1988 D Washington quarter you've been ignoring might just be worth $1.4 million. Yeah, you heard me right. $1.4 million. This isn't clickbait. This isn't a prank. This is the real deal. Today, we're diving deep into the wild world of the 1988 D Washington quarter. We'll break down why this unassuming little coin has folks running to their sock drawers like they've just won the lottery. And guess what? By the end of this video, you might just be rummaging through your own coin jar, grinning like a kid who found candy in his dad's toolbox. So grab your magnifying glass, crack your knuckles, and get ready to explore how one of the most common coins in your life could flip your financial future. Let's get into it. Alright, let's start simple. The 1988 Washington quarter was minted in Denver. That D mint mark? It's just below the eagle on the reverse, and it tells us this coin came from the Denver Mint. Now normally, this quarter is worth, you guessed it, 25 cents. Nothing fancy. But here's the thing. A very specific batch of 1988 D quarters was struck with extreme precision, bizarre errors, or high-quality mint conditions that got collectors all hot and bothered. We're talking mint state coins, error coins, and even some struck on the wrong planchets. The highest known sale of a 1988 D quarter? A jaw-dropping $1.4 million. That's right. For a coin that probably passed through vending machines, parking meters, and laundromats for decades. Wild, isn't it? Let's break down the juicy part. Why would anyone pay over $1 million for a coin that came out the same year as Die Hard? First off, condition. Grading matters a lot. If your coin is in MS-68 or higher, that's mint state 68 out of a possible 70, you're looking at serious money. It has to be flawless to the human eye. Think showroom car level perfection. Next up, errors. Some of these quarters were mistruck, double-dyed, or had off-center errors. There are even rumors of 1988 D quarters struck on planchets meant for other denominations, like nickels or dimes. Imagine a quarter that's the wrong metal and weight? That's jackpot territory. Rarity also plays a role. Millions were minted, yes, but only a handful survived in near-perfect condition or with bizarre minting errors. That's what turns a coin from couch cushion filler into a millionaire maker. A friend of mine, let's call him Bill, used to collect coins when he was a teenager in the 80s. Then life happened: marriage, kids, house, job, and the coin collection got stuffed into a shoebox in his garage. Fast forward to 2023. Bill's cleaning out the garage and stumbles across his old collection. Guess what was in there? A 1988 D Washington quarter in almost mint condition. He sent it off to be graded, mostly for kicks. Turns out it was MS-67 with a slight die crack error. That coin went for six figures at auction. Not quite $1.4 million, but enough to pay off his car and take a 2-week vacation to Hawaii. Yet he told me, "I almost spent that quarter at a gas station last year." Let that sink in. First thing, get a magnifying glass or loupe. You'll want to examine these parts of your quarter closely. Look for doubling in the lettering or George Washington's profile. Double die obverse errors are a big deal. Pay attention to the eagle, the feathers, and the lettering. Look for misalignments, extra lines, or doubling. Is the reading strange? Sometimes planchet errors show here. Also check the coin's weight. If it's lighter or heavier than the standard 5.67 grams, you may have something rare on your hands, and of course, condition. A quarter that looks like it's been through a wood chipper? Probably not worth much. But one that's clean, shiny, and almost untouched? Send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Don't sell it at a pawn shop. Seriously. That's like trading a Ferrari for a skateboard. Send it to a grading company like PCGS or NGC. Get it authenticated and graded, listed at a reputable auction house like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers, posted on coin collector forums or marketplaces like eBay, but only if you know what you're doing. Be cautious of scammers. Talk to a coin dealer, but do your homework first. You don't want to get lowballed. You just spent the last 35 minutes learning that a regular-looking 1988 D Washington quarter, the kind you might have used at a laundromat or dropped under your car seat, could be worth $1.4 million. The key is condition, rarity, and those magical minting mistakes that make collectors go nuts. That you might already own one and not even know it. So tonight, instead of binge-watching reruns or scrolling through cat videos, go through that jar of coins sitting in your kitchen. Dig through the drawer next to your fridge. Check under your couch cushions. You never know. That lucky 1988 D quarter might just be the start of your millionaire story, and if you found this video helpful or just plain entertaining, smash that like button like it owes you money. Subscribe for more down-to-earth tips, coin hunting hacks, and stories that make history feel like treasure hunting. Drop a comment if you've got an old coin collection hiding somewhere or if you've already hit the coin jackpot. I'd love to hear your story. Smash that like button and hit subscribe for more tips on coins worth money, rare finds, and strategies to build your coin collection and your bank account. And ring that notification bell too so you don't miss out on any new uploads, because trust me, we've got some wild coin stories coming up next. Hey folks, stop what you're doing and listen closely. You might have a little piece of metal in your junk drawer, your glove box, or sitting at the bottom of a coin jar that's worth a life-changing $1.80 million. Yep, you heard me right. Not a typo. Not a prank. I'm talking about the 2015 P Homestead State Quarter from Nebraska. This thing looks innocent enough. Just a water pump, a cabin, and some corn stalks, right? But let me tell you, this quarter packs more value than most people's cars and, in some cases, more than their houses. So if you've ever thought your change couldn't change your life, think again. Stick around, because I'm gonna break down why this specific quarter is worth a small fortune, how to spot one, and how a lucky fella just like you found his in a couch cushion and turned it into $1 million miracle. By the end of this video, you'll be digging through your couch like a raccoon, looking for treasure. The 2015 Homestead Quarter is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program. You know, that set of coins the U.S. Mint released to showcase all the different states and national sites. This one celebrated Homestead National Monument of America in Nebraska, a tribute to the pioneers who built their lives out of blood, sweat, and a good roof over their heads. And now, the design is pretty symbolic. You've got the water pump, because water was essential to survival out there. The log cabin represents home. And the corn? Well, Nebraska wouldn't be Nebraska without corn, but somewhere between designing the coin and minting millions of them, something unusual happened, something that turned an everyday 25-cent piece into $1 million jackpot. Great question. The answer lies in minting errors and ultra-rare variations. Most of these quarters are worth, well, a quarter. But a few, and I mean a tiny, microscopic few, were struck with major minting errors. One of the most famous is called the double die error on the Homestead Quarter. This is where parts of the coin design, like the windows on the cabin or the water pump, appear twice, slightly shifted. It's like the coin had won too many espressos and decided to print its design twice. Then you've got die chips, cut brakes, and retained interior die brakes, which sound like mechanical jargon, and they are, but they're also golden words to a coin collector. The most expensive 2015 Homestead quarter sold recently for a whopping $1.8 million at a private auction. Why? It had a stunning double die on both the windows and the water pump, a die brake along the roofline, and it was in mint condition. We're talking MS-68 certified. The demand for these is through the roof. Collectors are foaming at the mouth to get their hands on one of these rare versions. So now you're probably eyeing every quarter you've ever seen, and that's exactly what you should be doing. First, flip it over and check for the P mint mark. That's the Philadelphia Mint. If it says DRS, it's not the one we're hunting for. Look closely at the windows on the log cabin. If they look doubled, misaligned, or blurry, that's a good sign. Next, examine the water pump handle and spout. Doubling here is another jackpot clue. Use a jeweler's loupe or magnifying glass. You're not gonna see this stuff with the naked eye unless you've got superhero vision, and remember, condition matters. If your coin's been scratched up in a parking meter or run through the laundry 10 times, the value drops. They're crisp, clean, and look like they just came out of a wrapper. About a year ago, I was visiting my cousin Tom. Now, Tom's not what you'd call a coin collector. He's more of a throw it all in a coffee can kind of guy. So I'm sitting there, waiting on some burgers on the grill, and I see this dusty Folgers can sitting on the shelf in the garage. He laughs and says, "Sure, if you can find anything more than 25 cents in there, I'll split it with you." Well, lo and behold, 5 minutes later, I pull out a 2015 Homestead quarter with the P mint mark. I flip it over, grab my phone, and start zooming in. And wouldn't you know it, double windows and a doubled spout on the water pump. I thought my heart was gonna jump out of my chest. Sent it off to a grading service, came back MS-67 with a confirmed double die. Estimated value? $45,000. Not quite $1.8 million. But let me tell you, Tom and I both upgraded our grills that week. You don't want to just throw it up on eBay and hope for the best. Here's the smart way to cash in: get it graded. Use a service like PCGS or NGC. They'll give your coin an official grade, which is essential for top dollar value. Work with an auction house. Heritage Auctions, Stacksbauers, great collections. These folks have serious buyers lined up. Or avoid pawn shops or local dealers unless you know them well. Many don't offer anywhere near the true value. Join coin forums and Facebook groups. You'd be surprised how many collectors are willing to buy directly, and you avoid auction fees. And never clean your coin. I know it's tempting to shine it up, but that can ruin the value instantly. 2004 Wisconsin quarter with the extra leaf error, 1999 Delaware quarter with the spitting horse error, 2019 W quarters. These have a W mint mark and are already hot among collectors. Keep looking. You never know when pocket change turns into a payday. Who would have thought that a 25-cent coin from 2015, just 10 years ago, could be worth $1.80 million? It's stories like this that make coin collecting feel like treasure hunting for grown men. You don't need a shovel. You just need a sharp eye, a little patience, and maybe a lucky Folgers can in your garage. So the next time you get change at the gas station or clean out your car's cup holder, take a second and flip those quarters over. That little coin might just be your ticket to an early retirement, a beach house, or at the very least, a new grill and a legendary story. If you liked this video, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more coin stories, tips, and strategies coming your way. This channel is all about helping regular folks like you and me turn pocket change into real money. Hey, what's going on, fellow treasure hunters? Welcome back to the channel where pocket change could turn into private jets. Now let me ask you this: have you ever looked at a quarter and thought, this little fella might be worth more than my truck? Well, get ready, because today we're talking about a coin that looks just like the rest but is secretly a millionaire in disguise, the 1998 P Washington quarter. Yes, you heard that right, the one you probably used to pay for a gas station coffee. Could now be worth $1.9 million. Now don't go flipping your cushions just yet. Sit tight, because we're diving deep into the value of this 1998 P quarter, how it got so valuable, what makes it different from the average quarter, and how you might just have one sitting in your change jar. Plus, I've got a little story from my own life involving a dusty shoebox and a coin dealer with glasses so thick he could see into the future. Let's jump into it and see how this humble 25-cent piece ended up flexing like a billionaire. First things first, let's talk about the basics. The 1998 P quarter was minted in Philadelphia. That's what the little P under Washington's ponytail means. And in terms of numbers, the US Mint pumped out over 896 million of these babies. So you're probably thinking, wait, if there's almost 900 million of them, why is one worth nearly $2 million? Great question. It's not just about how many were made, it's about how rare a specific version is. And when we say rare, we're talking About mint errors, condition grading, and collector demand. See, not every 1998 p quarter is a millionaire. Most are worth face value, maybe 50 cents if someone's being generous at a flea market, but there are a few specific versions with errors or pristine condition that collectors go absolutely wild for. The $1 million 1998 p quarter usually has one or more of the following things going for it. It's in mint state condition. We're talking MS68 or higher. That means no scratches, no wear, no fingerprints. Looks like it just came out of the vending machine, factory sealed. It has a rare mint error. This could be an off-center strike, a double die, or a misaligned die. Sometimes it's struck on the wrong planchet, which is just a fancy way of saying it was stamped on the wrong kind of coin metal. It has a strong demand from collectors, believe it or not. When two or more rich coin nerds want the same thing, the price can skyrocket. Combine all three and boom, that's how you get a $1.9 million payday. There was a 1998 p quarter that sold at auction for over $45,000 because it was a flawless MS68, and another that had a dramatic die clash error where part of the reverse image appeared on the front, sold for tens of thousands. Now imagine a 1998 p quarter that had a double die obverse, was struck on a nickel planchet, and graded MS69. That's basically the coin version of a unicorn with a jetpack. That's the kind of coin we're talking about here, the holy grail of modern quarters. Now comes the fun part. How do you find one? You don't need to be Indiana Jones, you just need good eyes, decent lighting, and a bit of patience. 1. Start with the mint mark. It must have the P under Washington's head. 2. Check the overall condition. If it's got scratches or looks like it went through a lawnmower, move on, but if it looks clean, crisp, and shiny, it might be worth grading. 3. Look for errors. Use a magnifying glass or even your phone's zoom function. Check for things like doubling in the lettering, off-center strikes, or any strange marks that don't belong. 4. Weigh the coin. A normal quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If it's heavier or lighter, it might be struck on the wrong planchet, and if you find one that ticks even a few of these boxes, it's time to get it professionally graded. Now let me tell you a little story about why this matters. A couple of years ago, my uncle passed down a box of coins to me. Nothing fancy, just your typical mixed change from the 80s and 90s. At first I thought, cool, maybe I'll buy a burger with this, but then I got curious and started going through them slowly at night while watching reruns of Matlock. About halfway through the box, I found a 1998 p quarter. It was shiny, but didn't think much of it until I saw the date and mint mark and remembered reading something about valuable quarters from that year. I pulled out my magnifier and noticed something off. The word Liberty looked a little doubled. I took it to a local coin shop and the dealer's eyes lit up like he'd just won a scratch ticket. He said I might be sitting on a $10,000 coin if it grades high. Now mine didn't end up being a $1 million one, but it still paid for a vacation to Florida, so yeah, it was definitely worth digging through the shoebox. Alright, so let's say you find a nice 1998 p quarter. How do you sell it for the big bucks? Step 1. Get it graded by a trusted coin grading company like PCGS or NGC. This gives buyers confidence and sets a solid price. Step 2. Research auction houses. Some rare coins do best at major auction platforms like heritage auctions or great collections. They bring in serious collectors with deep pockets. Step 3. Be patient. Sometimes it takes months to get the right buyer, but if you've got the real deal, it will sell. And don't be afraid to set a high starting price. You can always negotiate, but you can't go up once you undersell it. Now here's something important to keep in mind. The coin world is filled with fake info and scammers. If someone offers to buy your coin for $1,000 before it's even graded, walk away. Always get a second opinion. Avoid coin dealers that make you feel rushed or shady, and don't fall for online listings that show every 1998 p quarter being worth millions. That's not how this works. The reality is that only a tiny fraction of these coins are ultra valuable, but if you know what to look for, you're already way ahead of the game. The 1998 p Washington quarter is proof that treasure doesn't have to be buried. Sometimes it's hiding in your glove box. With a little patience, a good eye, and some knowledge, you could turn a regular quarter into a life-changing fortune. So before you toss your change in the jar or let it rattle around in your cup holder, take a second and look closely. You never know. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button right now. Tap the bell so you don't miss our next video, where we're diving into the shocking value of a 2001 Kentucky quarter worth over $1 million. And hey, leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you've got a 1998 p quarter you want me to check out. I might feature you in the next video, where pocket change could turn into a payday. I'm not joking when I say this. The 1981 p Washington quarter dollar could be worth up to $1 million. Yeah, that same quarter you probably used for a vending machine back in the day might just be hiding a secret worth more than your car, your house, and maybe even your retirement fund combined. And now, before you go flipping your couch cushions like a game show contestant, hang tight, because today we're diving into why this specific coin is so valuable, what to look for, and how one coin turned a regular guy into a millionaire overnight. No fluff, no gimmicks, just facts, laughs, and maybe a little inspiration too. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be looking at that change jar on your dresser a whole lot differently. Let's jump in. Alright, let's set the scene. It's 1981. Ronald Reagan's in the White House. MTV hasn't even launched yet. And the US Mint is cranking out coins like it's going out of style. That year, over 601 million quarters were minted in Philadelphia. That's what the P stands for in 1981-P.AT. First glance, this quarter looks like every other Washington quarter. Georgia's stern little face on the front. The majestic eagle on the back. But here's where it gets juicy. Just worth 25 cents. Maybe $1 if they're in good shape. But a few? A very rare few, they're worth serious money. And one of them fetched $1 million thanks to its minting error and pristine condition. You're probably asking, how the heck can a common quarter be worth that much? Great question. There are 3 key factors that make the 1981 P quarter valuable: error coins. These are coins that left the mint with a mistake. Some were struck off center. Others have double dies, where the image or letters look like they were stamped twice. On a 1981 P, one of the big moneymakers is the double die obverse, where George Washington's face, or the lettering like Liberty and In God We Trust, appear doubled. Clad layer missing, where the nickel outer layer of the coin is absent on one side, showing the copper underneath. It's like finding a two-tone muscle car, but on a quarter. Even if your 1981 P quarter doesn't have an error, if it's in mint state condition, meaning basically perfect, it could still be worth thousands. A MS67 graded quarter is rare. But if it hits MS68 or higher, you're talking 5 to 6 figures, or more, depending on the buyer. And now, one 1981 P quarter graded MS68 with a known error sold privately for around $1 million. Yes, someone paid that much for 5.67 grams of copper nickel metal. Wild, right? The coin collecting world is a weird and wonderful place. Serious collectors are always looking for that unicorn coin, the one that completes their collection or gives them bragging rights at the next coin show. So when a pristine 1981 P quarter with an error pops up, there's a bidding war. And if 2 rich collectors want it bad enough, the price goes through the roof. A few years back, I was cleaning out my late uncle's old tackle box. He was the kind of guy who thought a paperclip could fix anything, and that duct tape was basically magic. Inside that dusty box, right next to some rusted fishhooks and a weird-smelling energy bar from 1994, was a Ziploc full of change. A 1981 P quarter. I tossed it in with the rest at first. But something about it caught my eye. It just looked sharper, shinier, different. I ended up taking it to a local coin shop. It wasn't worth $1 million. But the dealer offered me $350 on the spot. Turns out, it was in near mint condition. Not even graded yet. That moment changed everything for me. I started researching coins, learning what to look for, and yeah, now I have a whole collection and a few coins that could be worth thousands. You just never know what you have until you take a closer look. Let's talk about what you should look for right now. Grab a magnifying glass, a soft cloth, and check for these. Look closely at Liberty and In God We Trust. If the letters look doubled, that's a good sign. Off-center strikes. Is Georgia's head off to the side? That's another possible jackpot. Missing clad layer. One side might look copper instead of silver-colored. High luster and nowhere. The shinier and crisper it looks, the better your chances. Mint state condition. If it's never been in circulation or looks untouched, consider submitting it to PCGS or NGC for grading. Don't clean it. That can destroy its value. I know the temptation is there, but trust me, keep it raw and dirty. Take it to a certified coin dealer, or better yet, send it in for grading. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers, online marketplaces like eBay, but only if you know how to list it right. Private collectors, who are often willing to pay top dollar for rare coins, that old 1981 P quarter in your drawer might be worth far more than you think. Look for errors like double dies and missing layers. High-grade coins in MS67 or MS68 condition can fetch big bucks. One rare example sold for around $1 million. Your next millionaire moment might just be in your pocket right now. They're miniature pieces of history, and sometimes they carry more value than you'd ever imagine. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on rare coins worth real money, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got more stories, strategies, and surprising finds coming your way. And who knows, maybe next week's video will feature the coin sitting right in your palm today. So go check those pockets, call your grandma, and take a second look at that change jar. Your fortune might be waiting in the bottom of a coffee cup.